What's up, YouTube? My name is Brandon Choi, and this is Tech Speak. This is my first video, and for my first video, I have decided to review the new 2015 MacBook. So here it is in all of its glory. This is, of course, the space gray model. It also comes in gold and silver. I was thinking about getting the gold one, but that would have taken an extra 3 to 4 weeks of shipping, so we went with the space gray. And it looks great. It comes with that Retina display, 2304 by 1440, and it looks amazing. Great viewing angles, contrast, just everything looks awesome. It also is fully encased in metal, as you can probably tell, and of course, it is just super, super thin. Yeah, coming in at 2 pounds, this thing is very, very light, very easy to carry around, and it's pretty awesome in that sense. This is also the base model. It has a 1.1 dual-core Intel M processor, and it comes with 8 gigabytes of memory and a 256 gigabyte flash storage. And we'll talk a little bit more about the specs later, but yeah, this is it. I mean, this is it. This is what it looks like, and I gotta say, it looks pretty good. Now, to make this laptop this thin, Apple had to come up with some very interesting innovations, and the first one that I want to talk about is that trackpad. Now, that trackpad is very, very cool, and if you didn't know or did any research, if you didn't do any research on it, then you might not know there's anything different about this trackpad, but it is very different. First of all, it has all the normal functionality. It does the gestures, it does all that multi-touch, all that good stuff. It gets really different when you start to talk about that click. Now, the only way that Apple could keep this laptop this thin is by they had to get rid of the depressing click in that trackpad. So instead, what they put is they stuck an electromagnet underneath the trackpad, and it's basically just a flat surface. The trackpad is just a flat surface that has force technology, a force feeling technology. So it can tell how hard and when you're pressing down on the trackpad, which is cool because when you press down on the trackpad, that electromagnet, it actually vibrates back at you and giving you this taptic feedback. So this is me actually testing out the click here. As you can see, I am pressing down on it, and like I said before, that electromagnet is pressing back at me. And what I want to note here is that you can, since it's all software based and everything, you can actually change the firmness or like the softness of that click. So while you're pressing down on it, it might feel a little bit lighter or harder depending on which setting you put in your system preferences. So this is me doing another test. The trackpad has the ability to speed up when you are fast forwarding or rewinding a movie like in QuickTime or iTunes or something like that. So as you're pressing down on the fast forward button, it will increase its speed or decrease its speed. 2 times, 5 times, 10, 30, 60 times. It's a little bit hard to control. Now, the next innovation that Apple came up with to keep this laptop this thin is the keyboard. Usually for most Apple laptops, they have a scissor switch system, which, I mean, it's not thick or in any way, but it is just thicker. So Apple had to come up with a way to create a thinner form for that keyboard. So they came up with this butterfly mechanism, which is definitely thinner. It has a smaller travel time so that when you're pressing down on the keys, they don't go down as far, which was a little bit weird at first, but after playing with it for, I don't know, about half an hour to an hour, I got really used to it, and it was pretty normal. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything with another keyboard. So I got used to it really fast. So even if it's weird at first, you'll get used to it. Now, the third thing that Apple innovated on for this thing was the battery. First of all, this thing has great battery life, 9 hours on the Apple website, and it lives up to it. It lasts me all day on pretty heavy use. I mean, I was mostly just surfing the web and looking at YouTube and, typing up documents, but like staying on it pretty steadily the entire day, it did last all 9 hours. This battery system that they put in there, it's a tiered system. So basically they just stack batteries on top of each other to fit the curvature of the case itself. And I mean, it gave it this great battery life. So that's another thing that's pretty awesome that Apple did with this. Carrying it around and taking it out is very nice because of its size. I mean, it's 2 pounds, like I said before, and it's a 12-inch screen, and it fits in a lot of places. I mean, if you got a bag, I mean, if you're a woman, if you have a purse, and it's like a mid-sized purse or something, it'll fit in your bag, and it doesn't weigh you down that much, so you can just take it on the go, and you'll get to work like right away. So that's one thing great about this laptop. Now, along with these cool innovations, Apple had to make some sacrifices with this laptop in order to keep its form factor and looking the way that it does. First thing, which is not really a big deal, is they got rid of that illuminating Apple logo. So it no longer illuminates. It looks pretty much just like the iPad does right now. It illuminates it's, a really reflective finish right on the Apple logo, which is fine. I mean, you're not going to get any of those, Batman decals or anymore or anything like that. I mean, you still could. It's just not going to illuminate like it used to. The second sacrifice, which is a really, really weird one, is the front-facing camera on here. It is a 480p resolution, which is basically standard definition for old school TVs. That's weird. I mean, 720p is the standard right now for broadcast television for most places, and 1080p is what all movies come out in. It's just very strange that Apple went with this route of putting a 480p camera in there. I mean, I'm guessing they had to do it to keep its size and form factor. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know how big a 720p front-facing camera would take, how much space that would take on the logic board or whatever. But yeah, it was a very weird choice by Apple to include such a low resolution camera. Now, going along with what I was just talking about with that logic board, as I said before, this is a 1.1 Intel Core M processor. And when I say 1.1, 1.1 gigahertz Intel Core M processor. That M processor, I mean, it is extremely low powered. You don't need a fan for it, which allows this to be so small. And that logic board is tiny. I mean, I should have a graphic up here right now. But that logic board is really, really small, which is great. But it's very low powered. Once you start trying to do anything more than the normal web browsing or writing up documents, things like that, things start to slow down. It is a very, very underpowered processor. When I was looking through all the different Apple products right now, this is the lowest powered of all the Apple computers that are available right now, which is weird. I mean, the Mac Mini, the MacBook Air, all that stuff have a much more powerful processor than this thing does. So it is the most current product. It's the newest product, and it's the slowest product. Now, lastly, the big thing here is the port issue. When I first saw that video with Johnny Ive and everything, and they were talking about the USB Type-C, I was really, really excited because I love new technology and I get on board really quickly and easily. But this one port is a pretty big inconvenience. I first got this, I mean, it's been a little while now, and I could not plug anything into it. I mean, I had to go get that adapter, which was fine eventually, but man, those first couple of days I was transferring everything using wireless, and I mean, it's doable, but it is just super annoying. I mean, I couldn't plug any of my hard drives into it. It just was a hassle, a big, big hassle. And yeah, I did not like that. I'm sure everything's going to use USB Type-C, and if you want more information on that, MKBHD has a great video on it. I will link it down below. But yeah, personally, it's just an inconvenience. And I'm sure that USB Type-C is going to be the future, and it's going to be everywhere, but it is not the future yet. So right now, it's more of a problem than it is a plus. The other port is, of course, the headphone jack, but that's it. So one port on here, which is for charging, putting in like hard drives, flash drives, all that kind of stuff, and the other port is for your headphone jack. So yeah, that is all you get on this thing. So would I use this laptop? Personally, I don't think I would. It's fine. It's a good laptop, but it's a little bit expensive. It comes in starting at $1,299, so $1,300 for the lowest powered possible Mac that you can get out there, and yeah, I mean, it's just kind of slow. I don't know that it would work for me. I could see if you have $1,300, burning a hole in your pocket, it would be fine. If you're doing the bare minimum on your computer, but as soon as you start doing like photo editing or like video editing, yeah, it just starts to slow down. For me, I would just go with the MacBook Air. It is, in some cases, it's cheaper. I mean, you're not getting that awesome screen that's on here, but it just makes more sense just for workflow and everything. So that is, yeah, that's my idea on it. It's a great laptop, very, very, very cool. But yeah, it's just got these sacrifices that I don't think are worth it yet. And USB Type C is great. The thinness is great and everything. And it actually gets me really excited for the future, because if we can make a laptop this thin, I mean, imagine what we can do. Like, what can we put in an iPad in the future to make it a lot more powerful? So I'm thinking we can do an iPad Pro, which is basically just a laptop, or it's just a regular, Mac computer in just an iPad form. But that is, just, if you're listening, Apple, that's something that for you guys to do. But other than that, this has been a review on the 2015 new MacBook, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe, and yeah, thank you for joining us.